Not mine. This is mine.
Hey everyone, welcome to Flatiron Students Present. Most of you look familiar, but are there any new prospective students who have not been here before in the audience? Welcome, thanks for coming. So this is Flatiron Students Present, where our students present the projects that they're working on. We have students from both our web and iOS immersives presenting tonight, and you're surrounded by our current class of Flatiron students, as well as a bunch of staff. If staff can raise your hands, they're sitting mostly at the picnic tables. If you guys have any questions after the meetup, please feel free to come over and talk to us, talk to current students. And that's about it. So we'll get started with Blake and Josh from the Web Immersive presenting Timber.
Cool. Oh, Lord. Okay, so this presentation is called Cohabitation with Blake and Josh. We don't live together, but we both live with our significant others. So, yeah, let's get started. So we built a web version of Tinder using Ruby on Rails for cohabitating couples. You'll see in a second. So, cohabitation is a thing. It's real. As I mentioned, Blake and I both live with our significant others. I know a bunch of you in this room also live with your significant others. And as you can see, 8 million people, probably more now, live with their significant others. So, it's real. It's not going away. But this can go horribly wrong. This can go horribly wrong when couples do what? There's something couples do? Yes! So couples break up, and breakups suck. They suck really, really bad. So what sucks more than a breakup is breaking up and living together at the same time. So it's pretty intuitive, right? So breaking up is pretty bad. But there's also this technical issue called switching cost. So switching cost, there's the emotional issue right here. That's there. But we also have all these things where if you live together, it can cause some potential problems and makes a sticky situation. So the most interesting thing I just pulled out, this one box bullet, it's a survey that rent.com did of 1,000 people who broke up and that were living together, and 33% of them stayed living together because they couldn't afford the rent. So, nuts. So anyway, we thought, how can we lower this switching cost? So so these two are like the top two bullets are the biggest pain points. So we thought we need to get out immediately. We need to pay the same rent so we can get out. And then this last one is an added bonus, right? So we thought maybe we could find someone that maybe understands or some sort of romantic endeavor. Start anew. So behold, Timber. It's going down. So Timber is the Tinder for cohabitation breakups. And now I'm going to pass it over to Blake, and he's going to introduce the app.
All right. So you have all these people, they've broken up, but they don't know about each other. Timber creates a marketplace so that all these people can find one another. So you have two types of users. You have guests looking for a place to go, and you have hosts looking for someone to fill this void and split the rent and anything else that you might want. So we're going to do a little demo here. And I will be playing our first celebrity guest as Pitbull. And you can see up here. And then Josh will be Kesha. So you can search by price. So, okay, let me back up. Pitbull, he just broke up with his girlfriend, and he's a guest. So he's looking for a place to crash. Kesha, conveniently, just broke up with her boyfriend, and she needs someone to split the rent with. So this could be a good match. So anyways, we can search by a certain price. We can search by a neighborhood. We'll just keep it all open for right now. We'll hit search. And there's Jenna. Not really feeling it. Grace Hopper. We love. Mary, no. Yeah, definitely. Sally, why not? Pat, no thank you. And Kesha, oh, okay. So Pitbull is intrigued. He clicks, and oh, nice apartment in the East Village, 2 bedrooms, $3,900 a month. Absolutely. And we'll just stop it right there. And we'll let Kesha take over.
So, yes, I'll be playing the role of Kesha. So you can go to, as you can see, you can go to the matches tab up at the top. And I believe Kesha already has some matches, so this is going to be like her matches index. Riff Raff's amazing. I would have liked him too. So same deal, except for on this side, as someone that has an apartment, you're searching for the budget of the people that you're going through. So price is actually the budget. And length of stay, we added this in here, so you just have some extra functionality. So let's search, same deal, we'll just search through everyone. So we get this list here. He's a little much. DHH, sweet. So we'll definitely like him. And then we see Pitbull, so we're like, oh, okay, we'll like Pitbull. Voila! So it's a match. So they've liked, obviously you saw Pitbull liked Kesha earlier. So we can do 3 things. We can message the person, we can keep playing, it'll take us back, or we can view Pitbull's profile. So let's go through to the message. I think that's the interesting part. So I'm Kesha. I want to send Pitbull a message. So I'm going to say, hey there. Let's keep it PG. Let's write a song together. Sure. So we send, and there it is, right? Voila. Then we slide back to Pitbull's profile, and there's Cassie still there. And we can go to his matches tab, and now we see there's a new match there. And if we go to messages, we'll see that Kesha has, in fact, sent a message. So she says, or he says, absolutely, you read my mind. It's going down. Cool. And voila, so it pops up. And I mean, I think that pretty much that gives you the gist of what's going on. And if we went back and like refresh the page, we would see that pops up there as well. So now we're gonna have Blake break it down a little further and get a little technical.
All right. So the cool part that we thought about this app was what was happening with the database and active record. So I just wanted to walk through a little bit of how we're querying, because there's a lot of different criteria that we're filtering for and a lot of different users. So the first part is, if we're looking at this from the perspective of Kesha, the first thing it's going to do is it's going to grab all of the male users, because she said in her settings that she is a woman and her sexual orientation is straight. So it grabs all of the male users that we have here. Then it needs to know whether these users are guests or hosts. So that bottom line there says self.host. So Kesha is a host, that's true. So then we want all the users that don't have apartments. So anyone that's true, we get rid of here. So we're left with these 5. And now we need to know whether Kesha has liked them or not, because she doesn't want to see people that she's already seen. So we go to the likes table, and Kesha has an ID of 12. So she's already liked user number 2 and user number 4. So we go to, okay. So And here in the top part, in 99 to 101, what that's doing is it's saying, okay, I have an ID of 12, find all the rows that have an ID of 12, and then is there a likely ID in this group right here? So 2 is, so get rid of 2, and 4. So she's like 2 and 4. Same thing with the disliked table. So she's already like 10, so get rid of 10. And this is who we can now show Kesha based on her search criteria by price or neighborhood.
Very cool. So, so we thought, like, we built this out last week, and here's some extra steps that we would like to add if we had more time. So one of the obvious things is the left-right swiping functionality, right? So we could do that through JavaScript. As I mentioned before, it's all in Ruby on Rails right now. So the same thing with the messages. So if you notice, when I went to the message page, I had to refresh the page before the message popped up. So if we were using Ajax, we actually wouldn't have to send that. We wouldn't have to reload the page to send out the request and get the response. So, and then just a couple of extra neat things would be to add in login for like Facebook or some other site, and sort by location, sort of like Tinder does. And then obviously convince people to actually use this ridiculous app. So, and then this is thanks to Jimmy. We had some extra names that we liked, and this was a really fun part of the process. So I left out a few favorites. So Ember, we initially called it Ember, and as a matter of fact, it's still listed. Like if you go to GitHub, it's still the repository is still called Ember. But then we realized shortly after that's a JavaScript framework, so we were like, no, we're gonna pass on that. And then since we are similarly to Tristan, heating apartments through New York City, we thought we might call it Heat Seeker. But yeah, so that's it. And in the end, they made a beautiful song, and I think it's gonna play. Maybe it's not gonna play. Anyway, you all know the song, right? So yeah, questions.
Any questions?
Awesome.
Show us like the scopes that you built in the user model. I saw like some cool like cross methods there.
Yeah. How do I get to your code here? Whoa, this is Josh's computer, so I'm not used to looking at this. Was there something in particular?
Yeah, like show us those cross scopes like window seeking and stuff like that.
Yeah, so where is
Make
it?
the font bigger and like just
Yeah.
like the window away.
How do you do this?
Layout? Yeah, that's the one.
Oops.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, they're up there.
Yeah. Yeah, so we used lots of little helper methods to help break this out so it was really hard to write it all in one method. It's not intuitive, so we tried to make all these little helper methods just to help remind ourselves of what's doing what. So like this, for example, this is if you're a guy. So it says if your gender, orientation, and looking for, or actually it's a girl, is female, straight, and, no, I'm sorry. This would be used if you're a woman, because say it again. If you're a man and you're looking for female that has an orientation of straight and then looking for men, and then the vice versa with that. So that automatically gives you that code right down here. So we just broke that out as a separate feature. And there's lots of little, like, the host.
Actually, I really like what's going on line 132 over there. Because like you're finding that scope in that if statement and you're chaining on another one.
Yeah. So we've created this @users, which is basically like an array. It's an active record object, but it acts like an array. And then we have these two methods, not have apartments and have apartments, that we define up here. Right here. And they're pretty simple. Have apartments joins and then apartment on it is going to give you everyone with apartments. And then not have apartments, it's where you look in the apartment database, and if they have that user ID, then they're added into that file. If not, you ignore it. So it's just isolating all these different actions into their own little helper methods so that you can actually keep track of something like this, or like potential hosts or unviewed users, where it almost starts to read like English a little bit more. That was kind of the goal with it. Yep. Yeah, that was all in the database. It's pretty simple. You just have a to ID column and a from ID column, and every message is saved in the database. And then when you're trying to pull messages, it's really easy. You just grab everything that has its from one to ID and one from ID, and then you flip it and you ask for the reverse, and then you concatenate, put them all together, and then sort them by the time that they're created, and it gives you that list. Anything else? All right, thanks guys.